Hello indie game fans! With the impending release of Ori and the Will of the Wisp, the Metroidvania genre will be thrust back into the spotlight, with this being a standout title from the AAA space. Another honourable mention goes to the AA Way Forward with Shantae and the Seven Sirens, which got a weird partial release on Apple Arcade, but the full game is coming to all major platforms in the spring of this year. We have a very special world premiere in this edition of the top 25 best upcoming Metroidvania indie games, so let's start with Record of Ludus War Delit in Wonder Labyrinth. In case you missed it, this title was number 1 on my most anticipated indie games releasing in March, since it is a beautiful pixel art Metroidvania that looks inspired by Symphony of the Night. Many of you guys also have a fondness for the IP that this is based on, so it certainly has made me more interested in tracking down the source material. This is from the developer of the awesome Toho Luna Nights, with a similar UI and look, but as a fan of both pixel art and Metroidvanias, this one is a no-brainer. Speaking of pixel art, Kingdom Shell is another game which utilizes that art style and looks pretty darn impressive as well. Set in a kingdom drowned in temptation, the subsequent decline of the land resulted in nightmarish creatures invading, which the guards could not stop, which resulted in them seeking help from a criminal which has demon blood running in his veins. It looks pretty melee focused, with the demon claws being the primary attack, but there are various secondary weapons, power-ups and equipment as well. Very interesting enemy designs, love the crescent moon headed one in particular, but this combination of art style and genre really is irresistible to me. One of the more underrated sequels in the works is Castle in the Darkness 2, which, as with a number of pixel art games, is transitioning from the 8-bit look in the first game to a more 16-bit one in the second. Enemy designs look fantastic, and given how good the first one is, keep an eye on this. Another popular art style and theme is the grim-dark, low fantasy one inspired by the Soulsborne games, and one which exemplifies this is Grime. This has surreal visuals, a world with living weapons such as centipede whips, grotesque bosses, and the ability to consume them to attain game-changing abilities. On the other end of pixel art, the hand-drawn art style is also pretty common in Metroidvanias as well, so here we are with 8 doors. This is based on the Korean afterlife, in which you fight your way through purgatory to find the source of a mysterious incident which caused the death of many in the village. Of course, the art and visuals are a standout, with a very stark colour scheme, with the usual unlockable upgrades, boss battles, platforming and combat as well. The main weapon seems to be a sickle of some sort, which is pretty neat, but I'm quite curious about this title myself. One which perhaps isn't strictly a Metroidvania by definition is Recompile, due to the 3D environments, but this has an interconnected world, upgrades and traversal abilities which allow you to access new areas, so of course I'm in for the ride. Play as a semi-sapient program trying to escape deletion from the mainframe with an almost third-person shooter style combat and a gorgeous, glitchy aesthetic. There are also hacking elements and multiple endings, depending on whether you help or hinder the other denizens of the mainframe, but it looks real good and should be out later this year. This one was a pleasant surprise since Radio Kid and the Ruby Chest is a Game Boy Color inspired title, which was one of the platforms that I had a huge fondness for growing up. From the title and the character, of course Indiana Jones, Spelunky and La Mulana are inspirations, down to the adventurer clothing and the use of the whip. There are different areas to explore, secrets and collectibles to uncover, boss battles and more, all on your quest for the Ruby Chest. In the days since I last covered Phelan, this pixel art Metroidvania has been relatively quiet, with a couple of updates and interviews in the tail end of 2019. However, the art really is a highlight, with bright, beautiful colours, a varied number of environments and a stunning lighting. This is more on the Castlevania end of things, but the movement does look to be a little bit more deliberate, like a cinematic action platformer, but at the same time, the character can do things like backflips and lich grabs as well. Seems like rather standard high fantasy fare, but it looks awesome and is one to check out. Storybound is a neat one since this is a hand-drawn Metroidvania where you play as a young boy with perhaps an overactive imagination, where the main enemy is boredom. Wield an array of toys and items from the 80s and 90s, like a yo-yo, a slap bracelet, a pop slammer and more in this traversal heavy title. Another one which has been a very long time coming is Forsaken Castle, yet another pixel art Metroidvania, my favourite combination, with that medieval gothic fantasy theme like Castlevania. Play as a newly appointed paladin sent to investigate the appearance of undead creatures near a village, only to find an eerie, abandoned castle which is showing signs of life. Perhaps as close as you can get to a classically designed one of these, this does look so awesome, but has been in development for at least about 4 years or so, but this developer is still showing the game off at conventions, so fingers crossed it will get released someday. One of the more underrated Metroidvania titles is the adorable Wappo, and Homegrove looks to be in a similar vein, with an adorable, smiling character, traversal-focused gameplay, and quirky systems like catching things in nets, cooking, and solving puzzles. Not grimdark at all, but there is punching of enemies, but it looks well made and a standout among the upcoming titles. Lorefinder is a cosmic horror Metroidvania which was successfully kickstarted in December 2018 and is slated for release sometime this year, and has you exploring an ancient mansion in New England in search for the main character's missing father. The residents and staff have turned into eldritch monstrosities by some horrific occult influences, with scrolls made of human skin and torture devices littering the mansion itself. Again, the pixel art is on point, making me really want to dive in, and you can even embrace the darkness to fight fire with fire. Creepy mansions sure seem to be a staple of the cosmic horror genre, and this plays into that, but the uncovering of the events that transpired, of what happened in the manor, and the dark secret of the family that formerly lived there seems to be pretty intriguing as well. Hey Hey guys, if you can, do support me on Patreon, since I'm currently trying to upgrade my microphone and to reinvest in the channel. You do also get access to a members only Discord channel, so thank you all for the support. Ambrosia takes place on the island of Aspedia, a research colony on the forefront of human innovation, but when it goes dark, it is up to our heroine to save the day. The unique hook of this game is the ability to craft your own ranged weapons, augmenting and experimenting with mods and weapons to get the perfect fit for your playstyle. You can have precise, high damage, single target weapons, or ones that cover the entire screen in depth with the interconnected world and pixel art that we all know and love. If you like the idea and look of the Swapper, but was not too enthralled by the puzzles, then Dark Light might be of interest. A sci-fi Metroidvania set in a grim, dark cyberpunk apocalypse, the gimmick here is that certain enemies are invisible and are only revealed by the light from the drone, resulting in an almost Dead Space type of vibe. Looks visually impressive as well, with supernatural elements merged with the sci-fi. Barbarian is a gorgeous looking title that has you playing as a magic-eating barbarian accompanied by a bat with elemental powers, and you have to traverse through the shadowy caves in search of treasure. There are leveling up and RPG mechanics, leaning a little on that Castlevania inspiration, but weirdly enough, dialogue choices appear to be a thing as well. It is supposed to have 300 plus connected rooms with terrible eldritch secrets to uncover, optional challenges, companions and more, so it does look like quite the complete package. Not too much of a fan of the dark, dank environment, but the core design looks awesome and also can't wait to play this. This one looks unique since it is a noir Metroidvania with that classic colour scheme and is set in a modern city, so enter Tartopolis. Play as a detective who stumbled upon a city-wide conspiracy due to the Orwellian administration in charge. RPG mechanics like leveling, skills and equipment are present, but we'll see if the promise of a Metroidvania with guns is fulfilled. Something about the UI does make it seem rather mobile-like as well, which I'm pretty mixed about. But as far as I know, this is announced for PC only at the moment. One of the more beautifully crafted games on this list is Rune Fencer Ilia, a story of a young runist who was travelling on an airship with her sister when it crash landed in a strange, ruined world. Runic magic enables her to conjure up blades and magical projectiles with a spell stone system that allows for customization of your playstyle. There are over 15 areas of biomes to explore, with the expected hidden areas and secrets, with over 140 unique types of enemies, which seems like quite a lot. There's even a base building element, as you can recruit allies and merchants that will gather at a shrine, so it certainly seems like a very promising title.
World Premiere.
Developer Lazybench was nice enough to prepare a special trailer just for you guys with regards to Anyone's Path, a pixel art Metroidvania with wonderfully detailed environments, intricate world building, and a ton of collectibles, weapons, relics, and more. Really love the look of this so far, especially with the lighting, but this is still relatively early in development, but do follow the Twitter account for more updates. Developer Red Black Spade made the pretty fun, familiar-based Metroidvania title Cat Maze, and Fearmonium is his next title. Play as a fledgling unpleasant memory and traverse the mindscape of a little boy in hopes of transforming into a full-fledged phobia. This all stemmed from the boy meeting some clowns at a fair, which is something that I can definitely identify with, but the setting then allows for some creative area designs. Of course, you can certainly see the influence of games like Cuphead on the art style here, but it looks creepy and unique, so props to the one-man team. Some of you mentioned why wasn't Ruby the Wayward Mirror covered in the video on games at PAX East 2020, and the reason, of course, is because it is popping up here. This was successfully kickstarted recently for the final push, since its targeted release is the end of this year, and is unique in that it meshes together both fantasy and science. The planet of Casimir was created eons ago, where 3 pure sparks of mana gave birth to the progenitors, and from there, the Mira, a race of human-like creatures that went on to build great civilizations. However, in their greed, they continued to draw on their planet's energy, and a great ruin washed across the land. However, experiments with the Large Hadron Collider on our Earth caused this planet to fuse violently with ours, giving Casimir a second wind, and our story centers on Ruby, a Mira who was initially unable to use magic, but found herself being able to once this incident occurred. Her beam weapon is affected by alpha, beta, and gamma particles with a neutrino phase that allows her to dash and blink through obstacles, with a skill tree and power-ups, of course, being used for traversal. Ultimately a story about saving a dying planet, the meta commentary is on point, with again stunningly striking pixel art as well. Another long in development title is Hard Forth Elysia, kickstarted in May 2014 with a targeted release then of 2015. And oh, how the years have gone by. However, this still remains as one of the most gorgeous games that I've ever seen, and despite all the delays, this developer is still tweeting and still putting out backer updates on Kickstarter, so this magical Metroidvania should be releasing someday in the future, and oh, what a glorious day that would be. Speaking again of pretty pixel art Metroidvanias, Savior is one of these, with a very slick looking parkour platforming system. This was kickstarted in 2019, with a targeted release in 2022, so still quite a ways off, but the smooth animations, melee focus and awesome features like riding a dragon all seems so good. Can't wait for this one, but alas, we all have to. Like Castle in the Darkness 2 above, Elwa's Legacy is the follow-up to 2017's Elwa's Awakening, trading in the 8-bit for a 16-bit look. What I love most about this series is that this is more focused on puzzles and platforming rather than straight up combat, which is a nice change of pace. While chronologically a sequel, there's no need to have played the first game, but there appears to be some familiar mechanics for those who did. One title which knocks it out of the park with the pixel art. The best part is that this is actually coming out pretty soon, so keep watching the channel and I'll let you know when it does. Another title which has consistently been popping up in these videos is Flynn, Son of Crimson, a fantasy Metroidvania about an orphan and his pet, Wolf Dog, who must awaken the power of Crimson within him to save the world from a growing evil shadow. I played an early demo and was thoroughly impressed with how great the combat feels, which is essential for these games, with the fluidity of switching between weapons and executing combos being particularly fun. I have a strong feeling that this will be released in 2020, so best of luck to the team for the final push. And of course, the number one title on mine and many other people's radar is Hollow Knight Silksong. What initially started off as a character DLC for the original has been spun off into a whole new game with a very interesting inversion of the mood and themes of the first game. Instead of descending into a dark and dank ruined kingdom, ascend to the peak of a vibrant one which is filled with life. Returning character Hornet looks to play much more differently than the Knight, with Silk being an essential resource to manage in place of Soul. Unfortunately for us, nothing major or new has been announced, but still so hyped for this, taking the number one spot. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, share and subscribe. Check out the recommended playlist or the best pick for you, and I will see you after the jump.